All right, welcome back to Remembering Who You Were Born to Be, Healing Yesterday, Empowering Tomorrow, and Awakening Today. And today we have a very special guest, Jennifer Urizio. I have interviewed her before. She's actually been a guest teacher in my 7-month class. She's brilliant. She and I do similar work, but different at the same time. She's just rocking it out. She's written 2 books. I'm very excited for you to hear about her. So, Jennifer, tell us about who you are and the work you do.
So I created a paradigm called soul language, which puts tangibility to soul and the soul of a business. Why do you want that? Because when we put consciousness into everything, we get consciousness back. And consciousness is abundance, wealth, peace, all of that. And most people need words to what they know deep down inside. So soul language puts tangibility to the intangible. And
Mhm.
I help people really align their voice and their vision, really understand. I can see a business in my head and see where the energy leaks are. And then we work with their soul and their soul of their business to close those gaps. What I'm really good at is really having the whole entire person's vision in my head and really understanding from their vibration where what they're saying and what they're reflecting is off and
Mm.
closing that so they're aligned so they can receive more and be a bigger impact and have a bigger influence. One of the other things I do is I move unconscious warrior energy to conscious warrior energy. So when I say you have warrior nature, people who have warrior nature will nod their head, right? And there's so many things that we do unconscious as a warrior. We are loyal to a fault. We never leave a man down. We make war with what we want, or we feel like we have to make war to get what we want. And so when you understand how to take that energy and utilize it for your good, you become this unstoppable freight train of goodness. So I've been doing that all since 2008. And I also train practitioners in soul language to use in their sacred work.
Amazing. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
that just opened all of that up. What I love what you're saying is when you look at someone's business and you can see the incongruence between
Yeah.
their heart and that have you seen that's the gap to financial freedom, to success and
Yeah, it's so within, so without, right? So if you're and I want to really stress that I don't want people like to go in like fear or judgment, like, oh my God, right? It's about tweaking that. But when you really feel a sense of out of alignment, out of integrity, even the littlest, whether people are conscious of it or not, they'll be like, really like Jen. I like what she's saying, but there's something I just can't take that
mm,
jump, which is just something out of alignment. And I really work with people who have this draw from their soul to be in the spotlight. And that comes with a lot of human crap around it, right? And but that calling to be in the spotlight is a calling so you can have influence, so you can transform people's lives. So it's kind of a fun day.
a fun day, like a fun day to look at it, a fun day to
It's a fun day to work with people. It's a fun day to do this job. It's I really get to I call myself the Borg of goodness. I really get to help people like let go of resistance because it is futile. It's just making that what you want to create harder versus you're going to get what you want anyway. Might as well be an easier path than the long way around.
I'm sure you have many stories of success that you can share with us, but I would love for you to talk about when you said soul language. So, what is soul language? You
So
developed it, it's your baby.
it's my baby. I created it. So there's three core energies of soul: your mission, how you fuel that mission, and your soulful personality. When we identify that personally and then a business, what people understand is that they have words to what they know deep down inside, and they understand what they're putting into the relationship field between them and everything on this planet. So I'll give you a very tangible example. So my three languages are equalizer, which is all about creating that perfect formula balance, first for me and then for others. Teacher of integrity, which is I can see where people are out of the consciousness of love, offer them the chance to get back in, which means back into balance, back into an unstoppable freight train of goodness. And then my soulful personality is called graceful warrior, action, movement, courage, and grace. My business energy is much more still and heart based in nature, right? I can get more done in 15 minutes in a day because I have that warrior go, go, go energy. So, about 10 years ago, I'm sitting having this conversation with my business and in the shower, and I'm arguing. Where are my clients? And the business goes, go to the beach. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not going to the beach. I got programs to write and emails to send. Go to the beach. So I'm like, fine. So I pick up my stuff. I go to the beach. I come back, and there are three new clients in my inbox.
What?
Yeah. Because I was putting frustration, pain, suffering, do into the business, and it was
Mhm.
contracting,
Mhm.
right? And so when we put consciousness into what we're doing, it will respond back. And so I teach people how to connect with their soul, how to utilize their metaphysics, and to really work with the laws of the universe to create and receive what they want.
And then what you mentioned your three different soul types. So and then are there multiple other is there a whole map like
There's
a
107 core energies across the three different categories. We each have three, and our business has three. So we identify it through therapeutic kinesiology or muscle testing. So a
Mhm.
practitioner, because I train the other practitioners, uses their body as a pendulum. And we go down a number sheet until we get a yes response to the three categories. And there are your languages. So some mission languages are mentor, pioneer, negotiator, observer. These are what you're profoundly here to experience. Some how you'll be known here languages are image maker, which image makers are really beautiful energy. They can see the soul of a person and then work with them to bring that into light. That's the conscious. The unconscious is they spend so much time dating the goo of a person, right? That they're always like, well, why didn't Joe? I could see Joe is so great, right? Like, so it can create a little codependent relationships. And then the soulful personality, which is my graceful warrior, there's 55 different energies in that category,
goodness.
right? So the combinations that can happen are amazing. And what I love to do is when I identify a person's soul languages, I give them a one-liner becomes their mild marker of consciousness. If they're not being and doing that, they're creating struggle. And
Mhm.
my mild marker of consciousness is I create balance for myself and others through love, integrity, and courage. So if I'm not being and doing that, my life is kind of going to suck. And because a lot of people in your community have been on the path for a while, they're not moving boulders. They're moving little tiny pebbles of consciousness, which kind of sucks because those tend to be sneaky. And as our consciousness grows, so does our ego, and it gets cleverer. So when you have a system to actually have a conversation with your soul, you tend to not outsmart yourself as much.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it gives you a way to understand when your soul is speaking to you and how it's speaking to you. Listen, your soul is speaking to you all the time, even through your ego. You're just hearing layers of it, but it gives you a clear, easy structure that's the starting off point for your own answers. And I think that's key because so often, and you probably said this, I've said it, like, just tell me what to do and I will do it, right? But that never really works.
It doesn't.
I
It
mean,
doesn't.
I really wish it would, but it doesn't. And so humans have to kind of discover for themselves and kind of integrate that new way of being. And connecting with your soul can do that heavy lifting.
So I know we're going to talk about energy, but I just have to know, which is so valuable, but I have to know how did you come up? Like, where did this come from? Did you download it? Were you in a meditation? Like,
So
where?
I was
That's
asking
expensive.
really big questions. I was at a conference and I was like, I like this person across the way, but I don't care if I ever see this other person. Like, I don't care. And I'm on a massage table covered in mud. And I keep asking these big questions like, I know why I'm here. I know my purpose. How do I use that? I'm really pissed, God. Where are my people? And what about that woman today who I was like, yay? And the other woman, I was like, ew. And what I heard was that soul language. And I was like, to the poor woman who was covering me with mud, please get me a pen. And I just started writing. And I wrote every day for 2 months. And I would ask a question. And I remember like a book would fall off my bookshelf. And I'd be like, oh my God, I had been collecting this information without knowing it. So I would
Mhm.
literally ask a question and I would feel, hear, or know an answer. And then I would write that down. And then I started testing people. And I went back to that woman who we had that connection. And I went, I'm doing this thing. Can I identify one of your soul language? Can I identify your soul languages? She said, sure. And we shared the same language in common. So she would tell a story, and I'd be like, I really understand how you feel. I'm going to tell you a story, different details, but the same exact feeling. And the story went like this. She told her version of it. I was at a fire circle and these people were having conversation and I said something. They all looked at me and then they went back literally to the exact point of the conversation that stopped and picked up like I never spoke. And I realized that that was the teacher of integrity. And I was pointing out something that that group wasn't ready to move into. But when you have that connection with someone who has your same core energy, there's a feeling of like, oh my God, I'm not insane. I'm not broken. Oh my God, people like I'm not alone. And I think when you understand that we're all connected on such a soul level, it creates such a profound sense of unity in yourself. And you can remember that you're whole and complete, and then you can treat everyone like they're whole and complete.
I mean, it's amazing that what you created. It's so extensive and helping so many people. It's like I know it has nothing to do with human design, but people love human design because it gives them a map to themselves. And this is what it feels like soul language is doing. It's like giving you a map to yourself, but then taking it further. And how do you not only get there, but how to communicate with your map?
Yeah, and how to utilize it for the way you use your energy to create, right? Like,
It's
let's
so
just,
powerful.
so powerful. So let's just say you have 100 pennies to create what you want, okay? And you're using 75 pennies to keep at bay your family of origin limiting beliefs. That means you have 25 pennies to create what you want. That's not enough energy, right? So working with your soul allows you to take back some of those pennies and integrate it so you can utilize your energy to actually create what you want and receive from it.
Mm.
Fun, right?
It's so good. Okay, that will lead us into the energy thing, into the energy. So talk about energy leaks and how does a person know when they have one? Because what you just described with the pennies is an energy leak.
Yeah, it's an energy leak. So they fall. There's a lot of different energy leaks, but I've determined four categories. Okay, so money, and that shows up. Yeah, I mean everyone has this to a degree, right?
Everybody's
Like,
got money thing. Yes.
right. You know, for master healers, that shows up as, oh my God, my clients are doing great. And I'm sitting here going, oh my God, when is my turn? Right. those people also discount themselves. They're on the D list, discounting, devaluing, discounting, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is an energy leak. Really start to understand what you notice, what you're saying about money, how you feel about it. Money doesn't have free will, it operates on your own will. It's just a ball of energy. And so often people put money like having power, and that's not true. So, one of the ways that you could find out what your energy leak is go to the quiz on my site. But when you have that energy leak of money, the first thing you want to do is understand if you believe that money is a resource of source,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if you don't, then we need to tweak that belief so you start to realize that it's just a resource and money's not the source of you. So when you're in conversations with money, especially when you're in sales conversations, you want to really check in and going, oh my God, am I making this person the source for me? Am I making this person and this potential client my own safety net? Because if you are, you got money issues,
Totally.
right?
Yeah, I resonate with this. I used to do that a lot. And well, I would catch myself like in the beginning going, oh, if I wait, okay, that's going to pay for my electricity. It's like I didn't like that. I do not like that feeling at
Right.
all.
Right. So you want to start to kind of break down those money beliefs. And you want to sit down and you want to ask your soul, what does your soul feel about money? And then you want to ask your soul, how do you get the human on board with that belief? And you want to keep tweaking that. You also just want to activate safety. So
Yeah.
if you're going into a sales conversation, you want to activate safety in your body. So you're already in your safe zone. So you don't have that agenda. So you can be present. So, Beth, do you want to try it?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
very much.
So we're going to use our body's divine intelligence to put us in a consciousness, even if we've never felt it. Your body doesn't have free will. It's your mind and soul that does. If your body's all in working order and you ask it to raise its hand, it must comply. It's never going to go, oh, I could, Jen, but I don't want to. It just doesn't have that capability. So everyone's job right now is just to get on the bus. So, Beth, close your eyes and repeat after me. Divine intelligence,
Divine intelligence,
activate
activate
the consciousness
the consciousness
of divine safety.
of divine safety.
And just tell me what you notice.
I feel like tingly and almost like something got turned on.
Great. So, from this place, what would you say or do differently during a sales conversation?
For one, I feel more pulled back, like not like this, but like this.
So, more embodied, more power, more grounded,
Mm-hmm.
right? More connected,
That's right.
right? Right? More connected body, your body, earth and sky,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So, you're in your zone. So you're not going to be thinking about what that person's saying or what you should say or what they might think. And this might even be really sneaky at this point, right? Like it could be all hidden. I'm sorry, everyone. I just have the hiccups, so they keep coming, right? So anytime that you don't feel a sense of safety, you could just use your divine intelligence, your body, to put yourself back into that safety. How does that feel?
It feels really good. It feels and it feels like a place of non-attachment and
Right.
listening.
Yeah.
Pure
You can
listening.
you can open your eyes when you're ready. The
Right.
person with the least amount of attachment is the most powerful person in the room. And just think about all the things we're attached to, right? What we're making our safety, our worth based on. Like Oh my God, if I get this client, then I will be this. Oh
Mhm.
my God, if this happens, then I will be this. Oh, right? That is utilizing our energy inappropriately and is going to create a lot of leaks in our central energetic channel. So forget about using your energy inappropriately. Let's just think about all the icky, sticky stuff that's floating around in the world that could attach you because there's a little hole in your energy system. And then you're like, I don't know why I'm sad.
Right. But yeah, I don't know or why I don't why I don't I have low energy. So I won't go into the full story, but recently a client she who had passed away, she left me something in her will. Like hey, someone came to the door, knocked on the door. It was a big deal. Anyway, it's I haven't I haven't told anyone this yet. I don't know, there's a part of me that's out of congruency and I don't know why. So I get to sit, not, I'm so grateful and
Right.
all the things, and it's an acknowledgement. And I'm sitting with it going, what is this? What is this?
So it 10 to 1, there's a part of you that is probably so small that in some way feels an unworthiness of this grand gesture.
That might be it. I thought that too. I'm like, is there a part of me going, I don't deserve this?
Right? If I was in charge of you, Beth, I would send you knee to knee, eye to eye with your soul and your ego and have a conversation. So that could be come back into alignment and that part could come home because she
Mm-mm.
gave you now two great gifts. The gift of
Oh,
money and the
I love
gift
it.
of right, the gift of this expansion because that little sticky part has been operating in the background like a little spy without you knowing it, right? And now it's brought to life and it can't wreak havoc in sneaky ways. So cool, amazing. And thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, I can't believe I just shared that, but it's just what came up and
Yeah.
how this is real for me right now and sitting with this going, and I do think it's that. So if you had which your client, you would have them sit with their like how to close the gaps. Like let's talk about
Yeah.
obviously the leak, right? Because
Yeah. It's a leak.
this too. I've been a little sad.
Right. So that to me sounds about it sounds a little like you're making war with something. So
Mhm.
when we're making war with something, the way we kind of close that gap and making war with something is like you have to fight for things. You might feel frustrated. You might like never want to leave a man down. You avoid doing things in your business because they're exhausting, right?
Mhm.
So, how we start to close that gap when we're making war is to know that we're safe to be vulnerable,
Safe to be what?
vulnerable, that we are
Vulnerable.
safe to receive. So, warrior energy, when they're fighting, there's this kind of sneaky thing that they don't feel safe enough to really be vulnerable and receive. They always have to be the strongest person in the room,
Mhm.
right? So, remember how we worked with divine intelligence? Activate safety, we would activate a safety, a knowing or a willingness to know that you're safe to be vulnerable. So it feels like a chest opening, an opening up of your heart, an opening up of receiving because you've been making war with something in that receiving process, in being vulnerable,
Mhm.
right? We're very strong women and we use our vulnerability at times very strategically, right? I recommend with my clients, like, hey, don't share anything unless you really kind of process. Like, you won't want to open up your purse on the table and a worm fall out. Like, you want a container where you've processed it. You want to walk at least a half a step. I prefer two or three in front of your clients. So we're consciously transparent, but it's a controlled vulnerability, right?
Mhm.
When these kind of things happen, it's an uncontrolled vulnerability, right?
Mhm.
It's an expansion. And so that could get us off guard. But the more that we know that we're safe to be vulnerable, the more that we let go of making war, the more that we close that energy gap, the more we receive in so many different ways,
Mhm.
right? Another energy gap is how people feel about their talents, right? And this shows up where people like, I'm really great, but I don't know how to describe what I do. I don't know what my zone of genius is. I don't know what my message points are. You think everyone can do that. You don't know how to put words to what your talents are, or you're utilizing your talents inappropriately. And this is what I mean by that. There are so many empaths, which is of course a talent, that are feeling the suffering of the world,
Yes.
right? And they think it's compassion, and
Yeah.
it's not, it's sympathy.
100%.
Okay.
Yes.
And sympathy, as I always say, is between shit and syphilis in the dictionary. Not good, right? Not good. So when you don't accept your talents, or you don't know how to utilize your talents in a sustainable way, it creates an energy gap. So for those people that aren't using their talents sustainably, we have to find you a structure of understanding what those talents are, how you want to use them, and where you're denying other talents and accepting them. So one of the talents that a lot of people just deny is mediumship, right? Talking to the dead. I can do it. I don't deny it, but I don't focus on it. So if I denied it, I'd be like, oh, no, no, no. I'd be scared of it, right? I'm not scared of it. I do not like to go into my living room and there's a bunch of dead people hanging out there. I don't like it.
That's not my jam. I can do
Not
it.
my jam,
I can
right?
do it, but I don't, yeah, I prefer not to.
Right. So I've created a structure, right, that goes, yeah, I accept that, but here's the way it's going to work. And it's not going to be people line up talking, right? They literally have to, in a session, they have to knock at the door, and I have to decide if it's in the greatest good of all, which includes me, to let that person, that disembodied soul in, right? But I've accepted it. So it's not a gap. It's not an energy leak, right? If I was denying that, then another place in my business would be suffering, because here's a talent I'm not accepting. I'm actually in separation. And that's what an energy leak is, everyone. You're
Mm.
separating yourself from your higher power, right? You're not believing you're whole and complete. And that creates separation, and that creates a leak.
I liked that example a lot, especially the sympathy, everything you said. And so the empaths that are listening, because we know you're there, we know you're here, that it is a superpower.
Yeah.
But however, and I love what you said, like I have met many people, I can't turn off the psychic, I can't turn off the spirits. Yes, you can. You knock on the door, if you
Yeah.
get right, you get to be in control over that.
Right. And you don't turn it off. You set guidelines. It's like open office hours and not, right? So turning it off is like, energetically, it's like putting a wall there, right? Setting up, going, oh, I'm very clear that from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., I do not want to be working energetically. I used to work on people in my sleep, and I would wake up, I'm like, oh my God, I was so exhausted, right? No, right? Unless it's emergency, none of my guides, none of my teachers, like soul, the angels, no one's going to be like, knock it, right? Unless it's emergency, then I'm cool, right? But I've set up those guidelines. I also, what happens is, empaths, especially now, everyone, you need to align and clear your energy all the time. Like, you have to multiply it 1,500 fold. I have this amazing friend called Rachel Alexander, and she said something that I was like, oh, V8 moment. She's like, well, you should expect that you're going to energetically get off your game.
Get off your game.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Because most of us don't expect it. We just think we're good.
Hmm.
So do you want to try one more thing?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
Okay. So this is a very easy statement to clear your energy. And if I use words that people don't resonate with, and drop in your own words, right? We'll do the same thing. Again, we're using your body to do the heavy lifting here. So close your eyes, Beth, and repeat after me. I co-create with the divine
I co-create with the divine,
that all things alien and conditional
that all things alien and conditional
leave my mind, body, and spirit at once
leave my mind, body, and spirit at once
and return to their rightful place
and return to their rightful place.
with divine love,
Divine love,
divine will,
divine will,
and divine grace.
divine grace.
And in doing so,
And in doing so,
I am set free.
I am set free.
And just tell me what you notice.
I felt my energy drop and go into like my second chakra. It just went like into the second chakra, and then it was like a soup, and then it started like falling into the earth, like releasing.
Okay, so look around your room. Is it brighter? Is it sharper?
Is it what?
Brighter or
Oh,
sharper?
it's brighter.
Yeah, you're more embodied, right? The goo, and we walk in goo. Sorry, my dog's like, hey, we walk in goo all the time. It's no longer part of you,
I buy goo.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So close your eyes. Let's do one more thing. Let's check that central energetic channel that goes from your tailbone to the top of your head. Tell me what it looks like and feels like.
Right now, it looks almost like a steel post or something, and it's really oddly more in the middle than back up against my spine.
Okay. Is it white? Is it gray? Is it
It's silver.
okay? So I want you to repeat after me and let's see what happens. Okay. Divine intelligence,
Divine intelligence
align body and soul,
of mind, body, and soul.
align body and
Oh,
soul,
align body and soul.
align my earth star and my heaven star.
Align my earth star and my heaven star.
And just tell me what you notice about that central energetic channel.
I don't really see it
Does
now.
it is it turn white?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah. Before it had gunk, and now it's more flowing. That central energetic channel is supposed to be straight between white, silver, or blue. It's not supposed to be curvy or with little bits of gray, black, or any brown spots in it. It's your connection to divinity. So the more that it's straight, the more that it flows, the more you're connected, the more you can receive.
Hmm. And it's so
Right?
simple.
So simple. So simple and so easy. And yet we have to be consistent, right? Because if we're not using our energy, and that's another like just how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about our energy, which tends to be over servicing, not appropriate boundaries. You don't ever, you're not even on your to-do list, right? You, you don't, this happens a lot with people who have a big mission and they tend to over service people please because they don't want to be like those people. They don't want to be like, oh, I don't want to be like one of those gurus that say one thing and do another or take, take, take. And meanwhile, they have shrunken their energy because they just keep giving and giving and giving, and there's no return or overflow. Right. And so when this happens, I think it tends to be that inner child that is controlling the show. And I always suggest to start to close that energy leak is to really ask, need any eye to eye, what that inner child needs in order to feel safe to receive. And then, all the energy leaks lead into it's like a domino, right? But when we constantly are up leveling and really conscious of our internal landscape, the external landscape kind of takes care of itself.
Mhm.
And then you do the next divinely inspired action versus trying to do, or make things happen. And you can't really remember who you are if you're constantly playing in other people's goo or bending yourself to get what you want or trying to make yourself something you're not or denying who you are. And your soul is the easiest way to access the information of your true essential nature. Well, I think.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like doesn't lie.
No.
It's 100%. It's not covered by the goo, the programming, and
No.
all of that, which leads me to, and you did touch on it, but to the final question of, yeah, that coming back to the title, remembering who you are. How does the combination of clearing the energy leaks and the soul conversations and the soul language, it bring people back to who they are? And what, oh, I'm going to do a follow up. Sorry. And do you have an example of a client you worked with where you saw a massive like a transformation with these?
Yeah. Um, it brings you back to home. It brings you back to a feeling of never feeling alone. Never is, let's use never in quotes, but knowing that you're whole and complete, knowing that you're loved, supported, and provided for. It it comes back to a deep sense of peace and serenity, and that creates the ability to receive whatever you want and take action on that receiving. And we often hear of peace and tranquility and love, and we can eye roll because it's not tangible. But I'm telling you, from someone who has suffered and normal suffering, not like huge trauma, I would have given anything to be like, oh my God, just please make the inside stop hurting. And so when you let go of the goo, the icky goo, you bring your energy back, you have that conversation, it allows you to go, oh, I'm going to be okay. I'm enough. And from there, you can create whatever you want. I recently had a client who we did her soul languages, she connected, and she said, oh, I I always thought that I wasn't pretty, I wasn't smart, and I had to keep doing, and that nothing's good enough. And I, she described it as always being on this hamster wheel of, let me just try to fix things. Let me just try to fix things. Let me just try to fix things. And she said, and now I get up and I tune in and I just follow the advice of my soul. And she's like, I feel really good. I've never felt good. And I think that's huge,
It's everything. It's everything.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I love her email. She's like, she got her haircut recently. She goes, doesn't it look beautiful? Then she went, oh my God. Like from someone who, is in her 50s and always thought she was ugly.
So sad.
It's so sad. And putting that into everything she did, now she thinks she's worthy. And when you think you're worthy, you expect the world to provide. And that's what's happening in her life. right? Instead of scrounging for scraps. Yeah,
I mean, that's
it's
everything.
very
Like
powerful.
when you say good, if you feel good in here, it's like there all of this works.
Yeah.
What you said, and no more scrounging for scraps. So before we as we end, is there anything you'd like to leave our amazing people with?
Yeah. I think if you're going to ask yourself one profound question, it's simply, if I knew I was enough, what would I say? What would I do today to express that, to experience that? If you do that one practice,
If I knew I was enough to
what would I
blah blah
what
blah.
would I say? What would I do to experience that today? That will change your life because you're going to make different decisions based on enoughness rather than based on lack. I I remember a couple years ago, I fired a client in mid sentence. Yeah, I fired her in mid sentence because I my client, I always define my clients like peanut characters. My clients are the Sallys and the Linuses. And occasionally I would let a Lucy in. Now Lucy's always going to pull the football. And
Lucy's
that was
mean. Lucy can be mean.
totally mean. And I thought it was my little sneaky way of proving to myself that I was smart enough or that I was unworthy, however you want. And I let a Lucy in. And I could hear and start to see that she was going to start to blame me for
Mm,
her lack of movement. And
mm,
I thought, what the hell?
mm.
This is not worthy for me. And I said to her, as she's saying, I was like, I just want to interrupt you for a second. I don't think I'm the coach for you. I don't think I'm your person. I'm going to, and here's another thing when you know you're enough, because we already did some sessions, I'm going to return the entire fee to you.
Good for you.
And she's like, what? Blah, blah, thank you. She's like, what? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yep. She's like, well, when should I get it? I was like, it should be already in your PayPal. I already sent it off.
You were wanting the energy to talk about leaks, like close it up, close it down.
Close it up. And I've never taken a Lucy on again because it's a moment of declaration. And I want people to notice what they're declaring. Are they declaring like that they are an amazing being from a place of love? Or are they declaring that I have to be amazing being from a place of will, which really won't work for long?
Mhm.
Or are they, you know, scared to really express who they are because of past experiences or family of origin stuff? Like, let's start to disassemble that so you can feel your soul in everything you do. So that was a long little last bit.
I love it. I love it. And to like to leave them with don't let any Lucy's into your life. And if you
Don't, yeah, no more
a
Lucy's.
Lucy, kindly shut it down.
Definitely.
That's powerful.
Thank you.
And to have, not to live in scarcity. I have the money already about like so many things could have come up. It's like, no,
Right.
no.
Yeah.
I
It's a
love
great
that.
moment. Yeah,
I
it was a
love
great
that.
defining moment for me. Yeah.
That's a
Thank you.
great moment. Yeah, that's so good. Well, you have a free gift for our amazing people. So what is your gift?
So it's the quiz, right? And when you take the quiz, then there's a bunch of different videos and exercises you get for your energy leak. So it's a 5 minute quiz. You do the quiz and then you get a series of videos and information about your energy leak so you can close that gap.
I'm gonna do it. I'm looking for it on the jot form. And then you get it sounds like it's really in depth. Like you do the quiz and then it's
You
in.
do get a quiz and then you get like 3 or 4 videos. So you're
Amazing.
not like keep shutting yourself down.
Yeah,
I, I'm a warrior energy. So I like practical tools that you can use in your everyday life or why do it. And I'm internally and externally action oriented. So I want shifts for you quickly and easily. That's something that you can integrate into your life.
love it. So
Thank you.
good to see you. Thank
So
you
good to see you.
for
You're
sharing
welcome.
your beautiful soul language with us, and you're doing great work. I can feel it. My experience of you is, I mean, you were rocking it before, but I haven't seen you in a while. I went online, I was like, oh, she's in it. Like
Thank
you're
you.
popping, you're doing great. I can feel it. So all of that
Thank you.
that you've done is clicking in.
Thank you so much, Beth. I'm so grateful. And thank you for putting this amazing thing together. And because I talk to your community members and I know how valuable it is to hang out in your community and be around your energy. So, um, you're a rock star. So thank
Oh,
you.
thank you. Thank you for saying that. And thank you for listening to me about I just told that whole
Beth, people tell me things in supermarkets.
what?
Like people will come up to me in a supermarket and they're like, you can see the shock on their face, like, I don't know why I'm telling you this. And I just give them the advice and then they go off and I never see them again.
It's you. It's you. It's welcoming. Well, thank you. And
You're
thank you all
welcome.
for listening. And I'll see you on the next video, remembering who you were born to be. My name is Beth Osmer with Jennifer Urezio. See you next time.